It's Sunday, the 10th of December, and it's wonderful that we have a guest with us today. This is Sister Catherine from the Brahma Kumaris. She's 1990s and has been with the Brahma Kumaris for more than 36 years, 38. She actually started off in Karachi in Pakistan, and now is in after starting it here in Aberdeen, and is now in Brussels, where she also looks after the activities of Ram Kumaris in the European Parliament. So we've got this very great opportunity, and she will take the session today. So please enjoy.
Today, coming into this beautiful place in Aberdeen, around the world, we have beautiful mandirs, beautiful places where the communities can come together and share their love for God in different ways. In the Brahma Kumaris, during the month of January, we spend a lot of time on inward reflection. It's the month that we observe silence as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible to have silence in words, but it's always possible to have silence in the mind. And, COVID as well, I don't know how you're all surviving, and I hope you're all well and staying safe and keeping each other safe. But isn't it a wonderful opportunity as well when we are not allowed to interact in the way that we used to? It's a wonderful opportunity for each and every one of us to maybe take a little bit of extra time to look inwards and re-establish a relationship with myself. In families with mums and dads and the children and brothers and sisters and extended family, we're all the time and all the time trying to fulfill. And yet, am I happy in doing that? Because a gift is a very, very true place. And sometimes life is such that it demands so much on us, more than what I expect arrives on my doorstep some days, not every day, but some days more things arrive on my doorstep than I can really deal with or handle. And it's in those moments that what I do compulsion, or it comes from a place of I have to do it. It's my duty, it's my responsibility, let me get it over and done with. Do things from that perspective. What is the result? Usually gets quite chaotic, no? You get feedback from people you didn't expect, or things don't quite go the way that they normally went, and many little obstacles can come in. So during this month, in particular, the month of January, maybe a little request, you can try it for yourself. Just take time in the morning, and probably many of you are doing that anyway, but just to stop and ask yourself, how do I feel today? How is my mind in this crazy weather as well? So we've got pandemic, we've got crazy weather, we've got Brexit. I'm in Brussels. We have the change of the government in the US side. But what's happening in my world? What's happening inside of me asks me to understand and to reflect upon. And I'm sure you've heard it many times. But who am I? Who am I really? Yes, I have the name of the body. It was given to me by and yes, the body gets older. But how do I feel inside? I think for many of us who are getting older, we don't really feel older, do we? It's like time travels, things change, but the innermost us, those deep rooted personality traits that make me who I am, that make me unique, are there. And then when I can clarify that identity for myself about who I am, when I start to look at other people, I start to see them differently as well. I start to look at the thing I might see happening in their lives or happening around them, or their behavior if it's not the way I would like it to be. There's a very beautiful being. The core of the soul is peace, it's love, it's happiness, it's harmony. And when we think of our beautiful deities, how are they remembered? For their powers, their spiritual powers. And so those powers must be somewhere within the soul. But maybe I have to learn how to use them again. Because, we speak of atmosphere, study class, our faces should be happy, our faces should be smiling. And I know, if my thoughts are running away with me, or if I'm thinking a little bit too, not just the mirror of your heart, but the physical mirror, you'll look and you'll think, who is this person? I don't know who this person is. But change your mental positioning, change your awareness, bring it back to that unlimited understanding that each one in a human body is playing the best part they possibly can have acquired on their journey through life. And each one is different. But from a spiritual perspective, by having compassion for myself, by creating an inner world of peace, of calm, that naturally spreads outwards into the it's a little stick, and yet you light one and you can smell it from one end of the house to the next. And so it's like silence. A still mind has a fragrance. A still mind has an energy. I had the privilege of spending some time with Daddy Jenki Morris. She left the body in March last year. And Daddy, I always remember Daddy in her younger days. She was a powerhouse. She was a doer. She was very active, and we were never allowed to sit. We were always kept busy with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of love. And we all loved it because there was always fun and games and laughter and lots of love. Yet in Daddy's later years, what we saw was that same enthusiasm, that same love, that same energy, but the vibration was something divine. The vibration was something completely different. It pulled you into itself, and it brought an aura of calm into whatever it is you had going on in your life. We always had the habit of going to Daddy, asking questions, and very often we'd find ourselves in front of her, and those questions would just melt away. And when we said to Daddy, what's happening? We had some very good questions that we felt we needed answering about spiritual matters. And yet when we come and sit in front of you, it's as if something unlimited is happening, and the limited little things of life disappear at that time. Of course, they do come back. You do have to deal with them. But it's like you've given off the mind, thinking about the issue. You've given a little bit of space, and some magic happens in that stillness and in that space. And so when you take yourself back out, it is you have to do, there's a clarity, there's a new understanding, there's a new perspective. And very often, very beautiful things start to happen. And so this is what I was seeing from our dearest Daddy, was that ability to give the soul a canopy of peace, canopy of love. It's like a deer friend, isn't it? When they have trouble, what do? You put your arm. I do that to myself when there's no one around, because of course now with COVID, we can't run to our friends like we usually do. And for some people, it's quite stressful. Yesterday, the Jenki Foundation, it's one of the wings of the Brahma Kumaris, and they had a seminar on isolation, the embracing isolation. It's an interesting concept to embrace isolation. But for many people, it's quite a stressful time actually, and it brings on a lot of mental health issues. And for some people, they find themselves living with someone who maybe they've lived with all their lives, but suddenly they're together 24 hours of the day. And that pressure cooker of emotions, of feelings, of pent up, whatever it is from the past, it can explode. And so, in those moments, do I have the strength within me just to step back, to take some space, breathe? And yes, breathe. Sometimes doing some breathing exercises, sometimes putting some nice music on that takes my mind to another place, or even talking to myself, you know, and asking myself, what are you doing? Like to the third person, who are you? What are you doing? But relationship with myself is number one, and creating a beautiful world of harmony inside will ultimately create a beautiful world around me. Regions in all of this, it's not just my relationship with myself, my relationship with the external world and people, but what is my relationship with God, with the divine, with the supreme? Who am I? I'm a soul. My supreme father, my supreme teacher, beautiful being of light. In Raj Yoga meditation, we sit, we become still in the mind, and we allow our thoughts to connect with the divine light, the powerhouse, one being who's beyond time, beyond space, the one being in the whole universe that's stable, into conflict, into harmony, the one being who is open to receive God's love. And of course, meditation is the practice because I slow down my thinking, the greatest power I have, the power of my thinking. And by slowing down my thinking, I can move beyond the consciousness and awareness of the body and move back into, we've got a problem, move back into the world of light. I think we can maybe try a little meditation if you would like to do that. I know you can't answer me, but very often it's nice for us to move into that space together. So take a deep breath. Just allow your body to relax. Just be with yourself. Remember, I have to give permission to my. No one can do it. Turn your thoughts inwards to your own inner world. Remember, the throne of the soul is here in the center of the forehead. It's the place where I, the soul, reside. And so moving away from my name, my role, my identity, I focus my attention on that spark of light in the center of my forehead, the energy in the center of my forehead. Pure, peaceful, still energy. The light source. There's so much more. I animate the body of the 5 elements. I reside on the throne in the center of my forehead, like a master. I express my thoughts and feelings through the body, out into the world. I do this every day, all day. But for now, I'm letting go. I, the soul, sitting in the forehead. I see the screen of my mind as if I'm sitting at a distance. Thoughts will come and thoughts will go. I just observe them and let them go, as if I'm watching the cinema from a distance, detached, enjoying the scene. Don't go with your thoughts, just let them flow away. Now I want you to turn your back on the screen, as if you're looking in another direction, out into a different horizon, a different scene. In this scene, this beautiful countryside all around you. The sun is shining and you feel the warmth reaching you. You step out onto a pathway that's welcoming you. And you walk along that pathway step by step, enjoying the scenes all around, the smells, the fragrance, the colors, the sounds, the birds, and the sky that's so clear. Every footstep is taken mindfully, as if I'm walking very gently on the earth, enjoying what it has to offer. My pathway takes me through a small forest, and in the center of that forest there's a clearing where I sit down, holding this awareness of being the soul, holding this consciousness. And imagine an orb of light forming all around you. This is your light energy. And from this place, I practice. I am peace. I am peace. And I allow that energy to flow through my whole being, reaching every cell. And I enjoy that energy, peace. It comes like a seed I plant in the garden of my mind. And it grows very quickly. If peace had a color, fragrance, what would that be? And I watch the garden of my mind being filled with peace. And that peace flows through me, out into the world. choose the thought of love, a beautiful, nurturing, healing energy, and I let it flow through me, reaching every cell. If love had a fragrance, how would that be? If love had a color, what color would it be? And I plant that seed of love next to peace in the garden of my mind. And I watch them grow together, create a sphere, thoughts to the supreme light. Indra, who reigns the knowledge of understanding. And in this space, my garden blossoms. And I can come back to this garden again and again. All I have to do is turn inwards. And I stand up mindfully, holding the fragrance of peace and love as I return to my physical body, to the room I'm sitting in, but allowing myself to feel different. Om Shanti. I use the word allow simply because I have to give myself permission to be in this space. Otherwise, it won't happen. So take time throughout your day. Just take a few moments. Be with yourself and fill your garden with whatever fragrance with the supreme light that will bring light and nourishment to the garden of the soul. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much. That was fantastic and such a great opportunity uh, to have Sister Catherine here in Aberdeen and have a face-to-face event. But have a lovely week and see you next week from Aberdeen Hindu Temple. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.